Did you know that on average, the smarter she is, the more likely it is for her to be single? That's because she would rather be alone than waste her motherfucking time.
All right, family, here's a not so fun fact. Researchers have actually found that the smarter a woman is, the less likely she is to get married. Yikes. But before you freak out, the reason why this may not be what you think, and there is hope. Let's get into it. Anyone who knows me will tell you that I am obsessed with studying human nature. Peer-reviewed studies, anthropology, psychology, astrology, anything that gives insight into why human beings move the way that they do is my bag. And in the mid-2000s, I came across some research that I found incredibly disheartening. A bunch of researchers decided to see how intelligence affects someone's ability to get married. And they used the median IQ. For those who don't know anything about IQ, a median IQ is about 100, right? Which means if you're below 100, you're considered a little bit below average. And if you're above 100, you're getting closer to being a genius. And what they found was, when it comes to women, for every 16 points that your IQ is above 100, your chances of getting married go down 40%. That means if you have an IQ of 116, your chances of getting married go down 40%. If you have an IQ of 132, your chances of getting married go down 80%. And by the time you get to an IQ of 140 or above, your chances of getting married are almost zero, if not zero. And as someone who has had their IQ tested, my IQ was over 140 before I even hit the age of 12. I'm not going to hold you. When I read this study, I was in a vulnerable state. I had not one, but two failed engagements. I had just had my heart broken, and I was like, fuck, is my intelligence a problem, right? Like, why is being smart considered a detriment when it comes to finding marriage? So my first guess, and the guess that a lot of people have when they hear that smart women get married at lower rates than women who have lower IQs, we always guess it's the woman's fault. We always guess that she just doesn't know how to come home and stop being the boss and be a wife and right? Any podcast that you listen to is full of grown men waxing poetic as if this is a fact. But then I looked around and I was like, I know mad women who are just as smart as me, if not smarter, who are happily married. This can't be it, right? Like, it just kept bothering me. And I'm going to be honest, every couple of years, I always check back to see if there's new data around this study. And guess what? There is. But what actually helped me crack the case about why smarter women get married at lower rates wasn't research, wasn't scientists. It was my married homeboy who I was talking to a couple of weeks ago on the phone. This is why it's good to have friends of all types, because you never know what people are going to teach you. So one day I was talking to one of my homeboys and he was like, Blue, I love talking to you. We have such great conversations. Like, I love being surrounded by smart women. A lot of my guy friends love to say that. I love being surrounded by smart women. And I'm not thinking about it, quipped to him. I was like, well, according to the studies, child, the smarter woman is, the less likely she is to have a husband. Because apparently nobody wants to marry a smart bitch. And he paused. Like, he looked stunned when I said it because I feel like I was having a bad day. Actually, I was probably PMSing. And he was like, and you think that's the women's fault? And I was like, I don't think it's women's fault, but like, I mean, what am I supposed to think? He said, Blue, my wife is brilliant. She works in corporate. She makes a shit ton of money. I'm not going to say too much because corporate people are very private. But his wife is a brilliant, smart woman. He was like, Blue, I don't think the issue is the women. I think the issue is the men. I was like, what do you mean? Because, I'm always intrigued when men are willing to take accountability and call themselves out. He was like, Blue, when I got engaged to my wife, everybody told me to rethink it. Everybody loved my wife when she was my girlfriend. But the minute I mentioned marriage, my mother, my sisters, my homeboys, they were all like, are you sure you want to marry her? She seems like she's going to be hard to control. And that's when I had to sit with the fact that marriage started off as ownership. And he's right. It did, right? Marriage originally started off as ownership. A lot of men throughout history were marrying women as property. Women were considered men's property. And men like to know that they can control their property. And some men, not all men, because I know so many good dudes, but some men also like to know that they can abuse their property. He hypothesized that the reason why smarter women get married at lower rates is because they're harder to control and they're harder to abuse. And that's why men are scared to marry them. It's not because they don't acquiesce. It's not because they can't submit. It's because they have a mind of their own. And I was like, fuck.
I need you to understand something, okay? Guys are not intimidated by smarter women. Smarter women cause men some refrain because they are harder to manipulate, right? It's kind of like you think for yourself. You kind of see through all the BS. And to be quite honest, the smarter the woman, the more effort the man has to put in. So intimidation is not the word I would use there. I would use avoiding. They avoid smarter women because they cannot quite manipulate them.
I did some research and it turns out he's right. People who go to therapy, people who have high emotional intelligence, people who travel the world, these are all markers that are usually attributed to women with high IQs. People who know better because they have a framework of understanding about themselves and their value are harder to abuse. Narcissists and abusers tend to avoid really intelligent women who are willing to walk away when they're mistreated. And that's why they're not getting marriage proposals. While the smart girls are not getting chosen as quickly, you know what groups of women are actually getting picked all the time to get married? Young girls, poor girls, uneducated girls. Abusers like to intentionally pick people who are not empowered or equipped to fight back. And that is a huge reason why smarter women take a little bit longer to get married, because they have to find men who don't want property and actually want partnership. That, mind blown. This is why I love having such brilliant friends. This is why I love unpacking things with other smart people. So to you ladies out there who are taking a little bit longer to find your person, be grateful, because a lot of times rejection really is protection. In the 3 weeks since my friend and I had this conversation, I have hit up just about every man I know who is in a relationship with a smart, spicy, wild, hard to control woman, and they all confirmed it. Every man that I know who's married to or thinking about getting married to a really smart woman all told me, Blue, I love how smart she is. I love that she keeps me on my toes. I love that I can't control her and that steel sharpens steel. And again, research has shown that men who marry women who are actual partners, they make more money, they have better health, and they live longer.
Having a smart, supportive woman is the cheat code for any ambitious man, because all you have to do is go act on shit. Imagine this, having somebody behind the scenes calculating every risk because they're smarter than you. And all you got to do is go out there and be the bold motherfucker that you was born to be. It's the cheat code. I'll be talking about my friends and she'll be like, you shouldn't be hanging out with that nigga. Yes, ma'am. I'll be talking about opportunities and she'll be like, yeah, you need to jump on that. Yes, ma'am. It's almost like when my back turns, she's my eyes. And you need somebody like that if you really want to go out into the world and do some fly shit. A relationship is supposed to be a team thing, and your dynamic is going to vary based on what y'all bring to the table. So what I bring may be different than what you bring. All I'm saying is this. If your woman is smarter than you, go be a fucking savage. I promise you the risk is going to be so low because everything that you didn't see, she did. So if she telling you go do some shit, do it.
Oh, and for anybody wondering if the study also studied men, it did. And that study found that for every 15 points a man's IQ is above 100, his chances of getting married actually go up 35%, which means a man who has an IQ of 115 has a 35% higher chance of getting married than a dumb man. A man with an IQ of 130 has a 70% chance higher of getting married than the average man. And by the time a man's IQ gets to 140 or above, it's almost guaranteed that he's going to get married. So the gag is intelligence is not a detriment when it comes to marriage. It's intelligence in women that scares people. I'm starting to see a pattern here, guys. And the thing is, the study is 20 years old. The study came out in about 2005. I would love someone to do a new iteration because in the words of Tracy Ellis Ross, I'm hoping that this new generation of men are better equipped to handle women as their equals. We'll see. Love y'all. Bye.
Your wife, Michelle, told me that you are afraid of Sasha. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes.
And the reason is because Sasha is a mini Michelle. And I'm afraid of Michelle, and Sasha, having seen that, basically has the same look and the same attitude. Malia is more like me temperamentally. So, and we call ourselves the long faces. Because her face is more shaped like mine, and it's the round faces are Michelle and Sasha, and the round faces are a fiercer tribe. You know, we're like the vegetarians, the gatherers, and they're the hunters. We try to keep the peace with them.